what we're looking at here. So let's look at the plan. This is the how. This is driven by the scope that we've established. And now that we understand what the scope is, now we can define how and when the project is going to be delivered. Therefore, we can come up with strategies for that. So plan schedule defines how we'll develop, monitor, and control the schedule. It has nothing to do about the schedule itself, but just how we'll come up with it and how we'll monitor it and control it. Right? So the nature of the project is going to let you know if it's predictive, critical path, critical path, critical chain, that type deal. If it's adaptive or agile, well, then you're going to use, sort of short cycles. You might use the Scrum approach. Okay. Tools and techniques we'll look at. Same ones, charter, some portion of the plan, EEFs and OPAs. I hope you're noticing sort of that, sort of that same structure as we go through, and we're using expert judgment. We're analyzing information or data, right? And then we're having meetings with people, all to produce a plan that says how we'll do this. So again, the how. How. I'm going to keep highlighting that. You got to remember on the exam when you see that, how, we're talking about a plan. Anytime you see that word how, approach, guide, proceed, management plan. All right, so this is a subsidiary plan, one of the 12. And when we develop this, these are the things we're looking at. Okay, what schedule model are we going to use, like the method and tool? For instance, Mike, you guys are using Project to create the schedule, but then it sounds like you're using Jira to manage it.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So that would be your model development. And then there's level of accuracy, and this is usually in you might pull this from an OPA in terms of the acceptable range and the duration estimates. Those are usually OPAs you'll pull. If not, you'll get it from, you'll get it from the stakeholders themselves when you have those meetings. What units are we measuring in hours, days, weeks, whatever it may be. So this is kind of what we're trying to develop here, an overall format for how we're going to approach the schedule with this project. And the one that we always do, okay, well, how frequent will we do it, and when will we report out, and what's the method? But all these other ones are just as important. Charter, EEF, and OPAs give you the foundation, right? Because the charter has sort of that high-level schedule or the summary milestone that we're trying to adhere to. EEFs is going to be, remember, the software your company is using is an EEF. So for the next 3 weeks, you got to remember that you don't get to come in and tell the company that they ought to use this, that, or the other. You got to use what they have or what they're telling you to use. So that becomes an EEF, especially if it's the customer that's wanting you to use something. That's an EEF to you. All right. Standard estimating data. And when we say standard, we mean industry standard. If there's estimating data that exists for your company, that's an OPA. Right. So right here, we're just talking about, I'm drawing a blank, but you can go in and see like how much it will cost for me to use union labor to pull number 14 stranded wire 100 feet. I forgot. I'm just drawing a blank, but I mean that would be standard estimating data. And then you look at the team resource that you're going to use, how skilled they are, junior, senior level, that type of deal. When we're looking at physical resource availability, we're talking about assets like buildings. It could be machines. And then our OPAs, we'll use those as well. We'll use our expert judgment. May not be you. You may have a scheduler, a project scheduler that's pretty good at that to come in. Or it may be you, but whoever is going to be the expert at it is going to help. You're going to analyze all the different methods that you could use. Many times we might come up with 3 versions of the schedule, and present one, but we have a couple in our back pocket if we need it.